Hey everyone, how you doing? This is Amon Green, Green Bay Packers all-time leading rusher, and you're watching Packers Total Access Live, your daily source for Packer content. Go Pack, go!
What's up, guys? Welcome into Packers Total Access. My name is Clayton. You can check us out on packernet.com. Find me on Twitter at Packers_access. You can text us 865-658-5824. Join alongside Tim in Green Bay here to talk Packers Vikings as we get closer to game day. Got 3 games set to kick off tomorrow with some playoff implications there. We may talk about that just a second as well. Let's do this, though. First things first, let's give a quick shout out to our sponsors tonight, and that's the good folks over at Ticket King, the official ticket provider of Packer Fan Total Access Live. Wisconsin-based since 92, specializing in Packers tickets. They're Wisconsin's largest ticket source with offices next to Lambeau and in Milwaukee. Click on the link in the video description that'll send you to their website, theticketking.com. You can register as a customer. Go ahead and start shopping for your Packers tickets. Also, check out Ticket King on all social media platforms. Again, that's Ticket King, the official ticket provider of Packer Fan Total Access Live. All right, Tim, we got the injury report that came down to Packer. We're going to hit on that this evening. We've also got the head referee official named as our loyal listener, Robert, sent us over that info. We'll talk about where they rank in terms of how many flags they're throwing per game. We'll also kind of go back a little bit and talk about some of the key plays from the first matchup, the Packers-Vikings. We had a line change we're going to hit on as well. With the betting line, with obviously the injury report that dropped earlier today. Is there anything you want to hit on right out of the gate here, man, before we dive into all this info?
No, I think that's the big news, right? Let's get to the meat and potatoes right away, right?
Those meat and taters. Let's get right into it. First of all, shout out to everybody in the chat, man. I got in here. There was like 30 comments. It was going crazy. So appreciate everybody swinging through. I see all the loyals in here, man. We got Greg Rice, we got A-Fam, we got Mountain Man Pack, United Bates, Holmes, Chris Ian, Jen Wright. Let's see, Ron Sanville in here. Greg Rice, we got Michael Herman. Shout out to everybody. Prince in the chat. We got, let's see, Daryl in here. Good to see you, Daryl. Everybody filing in now. Appreciate y'all making us a part of your evening here on this glorious December 27th as we're getting ready for New Year's. Right around the corner, we got Jeremy Burt's in the house, Jeff Silkey, Dan Lang, Holmes, everybody. Harry Cheese. Harry Cheese is in the chat, Tim. Set up straight, all right? Hardy the Prophet, he's in here too. So
full house tonight. Let's go.
Yeah, I didn't know Hardy was out of jail. Hardy, congratulations, man. When'd you get out of the claim? I'm just joking. Just joking. All right, let's dive into it, man. Let's hit the injury report, get this out of the way, this big stinker right here. So Jaire Alexander, no surprise, guys. He's downgraded pretty much all week long. He went from full participation Wednesday, limited Thursday, did not participate today, and his official status is out. So Jaire will not be playing in this game. Corey Ballantyne, full participation all week. He's good to go. Javon Bullard was limited all week with the ankle. He is listed as questionable. And again, questionable simply meaning 50-50 chance, right, of him playing. Andre Dillard, offensive tackle with the concussion. He was not listed Wednesday, so it must have happened during Wednesday's practice or maybe early Thursday. He was limited Thursday, did not participate today. He is listed as out. It sounds like he may be in concussion protocol. Tyron Hopper, rookie linebacker with the ankle injury, did not participate and then limited. He is questionable with a 50% chance of playing. Elton Jenkins, not listed, then did not participate, then was limited, and it looks like he has no status. So Elton is good to go. That's great information there. Tucker Kraft, limited, then full participation. He's good to go. Luke Musgrave, limited. No designation in terms of game status, so he's good to go. Quay Walker is listed as out with the ankle. No surprise there. Christian Watson officially listed as questionable, so 50% chance of playing. And Evan Williams is officially listed as out with the quadricep that happened there in practice. So that's where we're sitting with our current injury report. Long story short, you're going to be without Jaire Alexander, your top cornerback. You're going to be without backup left tackle Andre Dillard, without Quay Walker, starting linebacker, and, of course, your starting safety who plays opposite of Xavier McKinney. Evan Williams will be missing this game as well. So, Tim, man, the point spread went from us being 1-point favorites to the Minnesota Vikings being 1.5-point favorites now with the collection of these injury updates. I would just about guarantee you that if Ja was active this game or was at least limited or listed as questionable, that probably wouldn't have shifted a full 1.5 or whatever it was, 2.5 points, I guess you could say, right? Mm-hmm. So that in combination, obviously, with the news around Quay Walker and Evan Williams, what it comes down to, guys, you got one of the most potent offenses in the league in the Minnesota Vikings, and you're missing 3 starters on defense. That's kind of a big deal. So I can understand the point swing there. Tim, you have the floor, man. How concerned are we about these injuries?
I love it. I bring it on. Underdog all day. Let's do it. You can't have the underdog without the dog. And we got plenty of dogs left on this defense and on this football team overall. So, nobody's stranger to any injuries, especially this time of the year. It's next man up. I know it sounds like the old cliche, but it's true. If you get a chance, jump on social media and check out the mic'd up video from Packers.com from awesome. Carrington Valentine. Give you a little glimpse into the type of dudes we have out there stepping up in a major way when guys are out. So I think I've got full confidence in our backups and our second and third tier, depth chart guys to find a way to win. And, Minnesota's not exactly 100% healthy either. So, it's a chance to win a close ball game. I like the fact that we're not the favorite. I'll take it. I'm not big on the sports betting and all that stuff anyway. I don't really care about the point spreads, but it does give you a glimpse as to how, the rest of the sports universe kind of feels about your matchup. And if the vibe is Minnesota's very confident, they feel like they're, firing on all cylinders. They beat us once already. We're coming into their building end of the year, banged up. We're missing a bunch of key guys. They probably feel real good about just, putting a hurting on us. And I love it. Sleep on us all you want. Cause I tell you what, if we, go out and get it done, like I think we're going to do on Sunday, there'll be no more secrets. The Packers will be getting the attention that they honestly deserve probably a month ago. It'll probably start coming as soon as we get this dub on Sunday. So I'm confident. I don't care about being underdogs. I'm confident that our guys are going to step up. I really am.
Yeah, and I'll tell you, man, when it comes to playing Minnesota, like I said up there, the main thing, in my opinion, like typically defense and the running game travels, right? Where you struggle is the passing game and specifically the offensive line. The fact that our offensive line is completely healthy, that's a huge, huge deal to me. If Elton were to miss, I'd be a little more nervous about this. I think we're going to go out there and compete. Would I put money on the Packers winning? I probably wouldn't, but I definitely wouldn't put money on the Vikings winning either. I think this is one of those games that could come down to a 3-point difference. Now, Tim, I'm definitely in the strong minority. So many people today saying take the over, take the over, take the over. So I had to really step back and go, what am I missing here? Because I'm seeing 2 pretty solid defenses. But like TC Fan says here with the Super Chat, appreciate you, buddy. He says, I think both these teams' passing defensive stats have been inflated by playing bad quarterbacks. I think if we win, J-Lo is going to have to carry us. Sorry, Tim. I know you want to run the ball. So
sorry for calling him J-Lo. Oh, please, let's not call him J-Lo.
You're not a J-Lo fan, Tim?
No. J Money's cool. I like we'll go with J Money. No, yeah. But I know what he's saying here. Yeah, I definitely want to run the ball, but that is a totally valid point. I mean, we've played some pretty bad quarterbacks in recent memory, and it's totally fair to point that out that, maybe some of the stats are padded a little because you're getting more, bad throws and things like that. It's not even just bad quarterbacks. It could be, less than stellar receiving cores too. Although, Seattle had a pretty decent receiver core. I felt like the boys did good against the Seahawks. So I think there's truth to what TC Fan is saying here because, when I say run the ball, I just mean I want to be committed to it. I want to be a, run on first down, run focused offense. But yeah, we have got to win through the air to beat Minnesota. You've got to be able to throw the football as well. So I totally agree with that point.
Yeah, no, I think he makes a great point here. I really do. Yep. We'll see how it shakes out. Obviously, as both these teams have played some pretty bad quarterbacks here lately. And it's, like I said, it's going to be a lot of fun, man. It's another piece of the puzzle going to be put in place. We're going to see what this team's all about. You're going to come away from this game, in my opinion, going, okay, we can compete with the best with the current state of the team. Or you're going to come away going, might not be the year. I think you're going to get a really, really good measuring stick on this game. If we come out and we keep it within 10 points, missing 4 starters on defense, then I'm liking our chances. I really am. or 3 starters on defense. I apologize. So I'm liking our chances of competing in the playoffs if we get a little bit healthier as we get a little deeper into the playoffs. Thank you so much, TC fan, for the super chat. We appreciate you, buddy. And I like it, the conversation with J-Lo there, and it looks like Respect Orange says it's Pookie. Okay, let's get this right. It's Pookie. So it's Silly Body.
I was going to say, I thought it was like Silly Body or something they call him.
By the way, love the Carspiracy commercial through Twitter.
Oh, yeah, that was great.
With J-Love. I would play it, but be my luck we'd get hit with a copyright on a commercial. That would just be hilarious. The channel gets shut down for that, right? Joseph in the chat here says, was bored today and made my personal boards for cornerback, defensive line, defensive end, linebacker, and O-line. Excited for this crop of DBs and D linemen. Really deep class there. Draft is 365. Love it, Joseph. Never too early to start diving into the draft, man. No doubt about that.
Yes, sir. So,
someone's got to do it.
Emilio!
What's up, man? Yeah, the computer was fighting me. I don't know what happened. About to spike it up.
Emilio's diving into that can of daddy soda. That's what he's
yeah, Friday night. Long work week. Got the the water heater squared away, I think. We'll see. So maybe I can get that taken care of finally.
He's been out here 13 seconds. He's talking about a water heater already.
We'll find out in the morning, won't we, Emilio?
Yeah, that's it.
Go shower. So that's the way that works. I've been there, done that, got the T-shirt. Caught the pneumonia. You know what I mean? Let's see here. Daryl says, "Hey Clay, do you have any idea why the Packers picked up another running back? I didn't know they picked up a running back. Did you guys hear about this?
I believe they signed somebody. Yes, that was. Gosh, I forgot where we got him from.
We'll see if we could comb through and find it here in a second.
We might be able to find it. I think it was this morning or late last night or yesterday.
Got it. Okay. Probably just a practice squad guy, I imagine, right?
Yep.
I know they like their top
running back Deshaun Fenwick signed to the practice squad. Okay. Running back Ellis Merriweather placed on practice squad injured. So they probably picked him up because Ellis was hurt.
Yeah. Or we don't know when Marshawn Lloyd's even going to possibly return.
Yeah, you kind of look at it 2 different ways, right? You can go, okay, is Marshawn Lloyd still banged up, not going to be activated soon, or is it something that you just need an extra body on the practice squad, right? Could be that too. So we'll see, Daryl. Appreciate the information there, though, buddy. Maybe we can dive into that tomorrow morning, maybe look into that running back a little bit more. I try not to spend a whole lot of time on the new addition of practice squad guys because it seems like sometimes you sign a guy and then 7 days later they're gone. It's like, well, we wasted 30 minutes on the show breaking down what kind of player this guy was, right? I felt that way with Ben Sims, though. Keep that in mind when Jacob talk about him on the show one day. And
same thing with Zane Anderson, right?
Yeah.
Can't wait to break down more Zane Anderson tape, man.
That's exactly right. So on the Minnesota Vikings side, as far as the injury report goes, Blake Cashman, full participation. Stephon Gilmore did not participate, but that was veteran rest. C.J. Ham, full participation. Patrick Jones, second, full participation. The only one listed as out on their injury report, guys, is Fabian Monroe, cornerback with a hip injury. He is definitely going to miss this game. Josh Oliver, tight end, full participation. Ivan Pace Jr., the linebacker with the hamstring, he's listed as questionable. And then, of course, Jalen Redmond. And the big one there, Harrison Smith, did not participate on Wednesday with the foot injury. He was full participation Thursday, Friday, and he is set to play. So kind of a bummer there for the Packers because, man, Harrison Smith, he's a dog, one of the smartest safeties in the league for sure. So there is your injury report. Emilio, Tim, you got anything you guys want to add to the injury report there? Anything that catches your eye that I may have overlooked or anything at all?
No, not much. I just, you know what? We've kept the receipt kind of short this year. I know that we've had a couple of outs recently, but I'm still not mad at where we're at. Did you hear what Matt was saying at his interview? They asked how Ja was doing. He goes, well, I'll let 3 o'clock come around and you can look at the injury report and that'll let you know. It's like, all right, that's fair. But yeah, keep Ja out, man. If it's bugging him, keep him out another 2 weeks. It doesn't matter. And let's get ready for the playoffs. And
Maddie is so sick of talking about Jaire.
Yeah. And he almost, dude, yesterday, or I think it was yesterday, when they were drilling him on it, he was sitting over there. He was this close to hitting him with a.
I don't know. I'm not a doctor.
He actually caught himself and goes, you know what? I'm not a medical guy, so you know.
Yeah.
I thought he was gonna hit him with something else.
Since we're talking about it, and we'll go back.
There it is.
We'll go back to the original tweets here. We're going to kind of walk through social media, see what's going on around Packers Twitter.
We're going to have to relabel this pod BTA, not PTA.
Yeah. So yeah, exactly. This right here, and I actually asked Ryan Schlip about this. I shot him a message like, "Hey man, do you read anything into this at all?" And he said no. And Tim, I know you're going to say no. You've been really, really steadfast on your stance on this, even with the Jaire suspension before. But I just said, well, this is interesting. Matt Schneidman tweeted out, they asked Matt LaFleur if they think Jaire can play, and Jaire doesn't think he can, or if they're on the same page. And LaFleur's response was that the injury report will be out at 3. So what they're asking him is like, essentially what they're asking LaFleur here, right, is, Coach, are you guys on the same page, or is this something that Jaire's keeping himself out and you guys aren't agreeing on the stance? And all he said was the injury report will be out at 3. Mm-hmm. So, for the people that want to read into that, I think there's something to be read into there. The ones who think it's nothing, I think I can see that stance too, right? It's Matt, like you said, Emilio, just sick of talking about it, right?
Yeah.
So
they're lucky they didn't just get limited all day, right? I mean, that's right. Matt LaFleur to a T is limited. I mean, as long as you're answering the question, that's it. But when he did ask him that, it was just like, dude, do you want the coach to go against his player? Do you want like the player to go against his coach? You want the player to go against the organization? Like, I don't know why we're trying to put him in, like that, put him right in the corner and get him to answer it. I would rather just say, hey, he's not practicing. All right. He hasn't played since the Jags game. Dude's hurt. I mean, would we be this upset if we had put him back on IR back then? I mean, and then, hey, he's trying to get in his 21-day window, all that stuff. Would we be that mad at this point? I don't think so. I think that we're just mad because he's been on the roster and we've been talking about it here and there back and forth. But if he was on IR and he was just back of the mind, wouldn't worry about him until we saw him pop back up.
Yeah, right. I take it out of your book, Clayton. You always talk about, in the pressers, the coaches, they're really speaking to their players, right? And, one thing Matt does is he's extremely accountable. And the other thing he does is what we're talking about, like today, he hits you with the boilerplate response, right? Just the very quick, factually accurate response and leaves it alone, because I think I agree with Emilio. I don't think he's going to take the bait and say, yeah, well, I asked Ja if he was ready to go and he said no, but looks like he can play. And not, I don't think our head coach is going to do that. And that kind of one of the things I respect about him. So right. I think you're right, though, too, Clayton. Maybe there is something to read there based on that alone, So guess we'll see what happens as we move forward. But hopefully we at least see Jaire play some playoff football for us, at some point this year.
Yeah, and again, I think the answer will come in the offseason, obviously, right? Whether they restructure, if he comes back, if they decide to trade him, whatever it might be. And again, there's no indication whatsoever to suggest the Packers are interested in trading Ja. Like, there's nothing firm there. Anything that we've talked about on the show, I don't want to mislead people to be like, hey, we're hearing this. No, this is just fans talking like fans. Hey, if it were to come up, what do you think you would get? What's the salary cap ramifications? How much do you free up? All those things. Like what Prince says, Matt Schneidman looking to lose his Tupac show for next year. So obviously he's got the coach this season on a kind of a one-on-one basis there with the show. So pretty damn good show that Matt Schneidman runs too. I like Matt Schneidman. I think he does a great job. I really do. And so let's see what else we've got here. Let's go back to Twitter real quick. And it is official. Josh Jacobs did win the Scepter. So he is the winner of the Good Morning Football Angry Run of the Week award. You guys remember the stiff arm he laid on the Honey Badger. It was funny hearing Kyle Brandt set it up too, going, man, he took one of the best tacklers and just threw him like a rag doll. And it sucks because he's going to be on the show later this week. Tyrone, sorry, man, but they were already trying to do damage control because they knew they were going to have him on the show interviewing him after they posterized him all week long with the angry run of the week.
I'm surprised and happy, right? I didn't think it was going to happen. I didn't think that Bears sympathizer Kyle Brandt was going to allow one of our running backs to be on the angry runs. But I guess a little bit of respect for Mr. Brandt out there.
Yeah. some point you got to bend the knee, right? I
Yeah.
mean, once you break 1,000, that weight's kind of pushing on you. You gotta do something.
Yeah,
Maybe.
and he's been running through people's faces all year, right?
Right.
And
Yeah.
tossing guys around all year. It's about time he got an angry run.
Same dude. That's the same dude, right? That did that thing before the Thanksgiving Day. Like, come on, everybody knows we're all Lions fans, right? That same dude, right?
Right. Yep.
Yeah.
Clayton, get that comment off the screen. I almost spit up my coffee.
Yeah. Respect Orange. It says angry runs. Sounds like a bad night at Taco Bell.
That's terrible.
It's terrible.
Not if you cap it off with the Cinnabons, those little ice. Ooh, Clayton, you know what I'm talking about, right?
You hurt me, Brett.
You hurt me, Bell. You hurt me, Taco Bell. What are you talking about?
You know those Cinnabons, like with the icing they have in them?
at Taco Bell?
Yeah.
Or just in general? No, I've never had that, man.
Oh, next time you're there, get a dozen of them. I mean, they are absolutely fire.
Heard it from a fan right here.
Y'all trying to give me the diabetes is what y'all
Okay,
trying.
they have a 2-pack, but once you slam both of them, you're going to be upset you don't have 5 more. I'm telling you.
Million eats like a roast, never gains a pound, man. It's funny how this works.
Did you say they had a 2-pack?
There it is.
Say 2-pack.
There it is. All right, let's keep this thing moving here. As Respect Oranges officially got us on the show sucks train.
Taking the Browns to the Super Bowl. That's all Bates does.
This is why we don't highlight these comments. Unbelievable. What's this? Milltown Corey, cinnamon sticks only from Taco Bell. Sorry, is that what he's talking about? Cinnamon sticks?
The little twist, the cinnamon twist.
Oh no, not the twist. Nope, I'm talking the ones with the icing inside. I forgot what they're called, but I'm telling you, it's gotta happen.
How do you forget what they're called?
Because I don't go there very often, but when I do, I get a dozen.
Let's keep this thing moving here, boys. Goodness gracious. PFF Packers. Jordan Love has big play upside against Minnesota this week. Love ranks second in completions of 20-plus yards downfield, which puts him in line to pick up chunk plays against the Vikings defense that ranks 29th in deep completions allowed. So it sounds like their weak spot, obviously, with them, they like to mug the line of scrimmage. They're giving up some deep shots. So this could be a big game for Jordan. If that's the case, that will kind of lean in the direction that we talked about, Tim, that seems like the majority of the public are all over the over of, I think it was 48.5 points, maybe 49. So for me, man, again, I kind of look at these two defenses and I could see it being one of those games that, I could see it being like a 2017 game too. Now, you're inside on that fast track, right? That turf in Minnesota. So the weather is not going to be a factor at all. I'm sure that plays into that over as well. So what do you guys think about this, though, the big play ability of Jordan Love matching up against Minnesota Vikings pass defense here, man?
I mean, I think that goes to TC fans' point earlier on the super chat, right? We gotta lean on Jay Money, man, a little bit. I just don't want to bail on the run when it's working for us, but Jordan's going to have to continue to play well in the passing game, and this O-line's gotta continue to protect him because they're going to have their hands full against this Minnesota defensive front. And I think the passing attack with the run attack, if you marry those up just right, like we've seen Matt LaFleur do multiple times this season, I think we've got a good chance to win. But I'm with you, Clayton. I don't see this being a quote. It'll be a shootout, but I don't see it being a super high scoring type of affair. I mean, the last time these teams played, it was 22-20 or something, right? Was that the final? So, I just don't see it being a wildly high scoring contest. What do you think there, Sombrero Santa?
Yeah, that's I don't know. With the weather being nice, you could have it. I feel like you always have a chance with it being inside. You don't have to worry about the wind, anything like that. If he's dropping dimes, let him keep dropping them. But like you said, getting through the defense for either team is going to be an issue. I do like that Matt's always kind of feathering it in. I forgot who was saying it, but they were asking Matt, is that something you want to do every drive or how many times? He goes, no, it's kind of just comes naturally that it's sort of just feathered in there. But you have to kind of force them deep once in a while just to keep the defense honest. Same as you run the jet sweep once in a while just to keep them honest horizontally. Same with the screen, all of that. So I think everything has their place, and it really kind of just, if they want to start, I mean, the way the Packers are talking in their interviews, the players and stuff, we're going to start fast, physical, get out to a lead. That way we don't get behind like we did last time. I could see them putting up 30 again, in what Minnesota's only 2 losses have come to teams that have put up 30. So maybe that's something that we shoot for. And maybe it does get to that. And I'd be happy again with our defense under 20. Our
Yep.
offense over 30, defense under 20. Whatever the over under is on the game is, if it's around 50, you might take the over.
Yeah. Let's see what the chat says. Respect Orange says, I think Jordan will have a really good game. He was injured last time, Tim. That's a great point, man. He was coming. Wasn't that the first game that he was coming off of that injury? Am I thinking right?
Yep. And Josh Jacobs was saying they had to, like, he was only able to kind of roll out one way or this way. You had to get rid of the ball quick. All that stuff changes. You can't. The plays aren't the same.
Yep.
Great point. So, and when we kind of combed through the notes from Chalk Talk, I couldn't find the actual video. I was going to put it in the telestrator and we could walk through it real quick. But when you look at the notes here, first quarter, 12:43 left, a 3rd and 14 play from their own 40. Sam Darnold hit Naylor for a 31-yard game on 3rd and 14. So they're connecting on those 3rd and long, obviously there early. Then you had a 1st and 10 play there later that drive from Green Bay's 29 was Darnold to Addison for the 29-yard touchdown. Green Bay missed the field goal after that, so it should have been 7-3, right? And it was a 37-yarder, boys. Boy, we've come a long way, have we not? That's wild to think about. So it should have been 7-3, and then the following drive, Green Bay gets called for 4 defensive penalties on that one drive. So obviously that would lead to a Minnesota touchdown. So now you're down 14-0, and I feel comfortable saying without the penalties and you not missing that field goal, it really should be 7-3. And then, of course, 23 seconds left in the first quarter, 3rd and 7 play from your own 33-yard line. Jordan Love throws that interception, and they go on to get a Addison touchdown on a jet sweep. So they're up 21-0 all of a sudden. Then Green Bay missed a 49-yard field goal, still 21-0, right? And then they go. Minnesota went 3 and out the very next drive, and that's where you're getting into the latter half of the second quarter there. So I just wanted to mention that, like, this is what Coach Stenavich was talking about, right? Everything that could go wrong went wrong, and it went wrong within the first quarter of that ball game.
Right.
You can't expect that to happen again. You know what I'm saying?
No, it's exactly it. The fact that you literally had all those penalties, you're shooting yourself in the foot 10 times that game. I mean, all the pre-snap, all the post-snap, I was getting upset with the penalties. The fact that we were having 10 a game is out of hand. So I think they've come a long ways. And I think that was also the time, when we're still trying to build up our run game, see where we're at. We didn't have all the faith in Josh Jacobs. I think they were still trying to learn him, and feel him out. And so I think that they still put a lot on Jay Love. I think if he didn't have to throw a lot this game, they'd be fine with running it. But they just weren't built to where they are now. It's a completely different team from the beginning of the year. We would absolutely stomp the team that played Minnesota earlier this year.
Yeah. Sorry about that. I wanted to just throw this up real quick. Milltown Corey, almost no play action against the Vikings the first game. Huge difference this time around. And that's a testament to what you guys were just talking about, with the penalties and plus, a whatever 70% Jordan Love, whatever we had when he was coming back from injury. We also, we didn't particularly run very well in that affair either. And I think now with the run game that we can lean on, I think we'll see a little bit more play action on Sunday. What do you guys think?
No, I think so too, man, because again, with that brace, with his knee being tender, they could not get under center as much as they wanted to. That was very, very evident. So, and again, the numbers suggest it's easier to run out of shotgun than it is under center, but the play action under center is where you get into. I mean, that's really, really
that's
deadly.
Where it's real deadly. Yeah, for sure.
Exactly. Let's see here. Joseph in the chat says it's going to be a high-scoring affair for sure. So he's definitely on the over there. Jim says, I think the Packers need over 31 to win. And again, that's kind of what you were saying, Emilio. It seems like what teams have done here recently, right, to get the dub against.
Right.
Against
and we've gone 5-6 games now, over 30.
Yep.
So that's – hey,
you take that into consideration with like what we're seeing here on the screen about Jordan Love and the big throws and how the Vikings are giving up those big throws. It does kind of feel like a recipe for this could be success for the Packers. I didn't mean to cut you off, but that's kind of what's connecting with me there.
No, it's exactly that's all I was going to say was, hey, it kind of walks right into where we've been playing these past couple weeks, and if we can keep, we score 30, I think we almost always win the game. The only one that would be Detroit and Eagles, and it's not like we've lost a lot this year anyway. So,
yep, good point. Let's see here. Ari Iron Miner says turnovers, penalties, missed field goals. Man, lose you the ball game every single time. Greg Rice says, LOL, kicker talk is like mama's homemade meals, a hug from the inside. So there you go. We used to only do kicker talk when we got super chats, but man, we've grown and changed.
Kind of wiggles its way in there when McMoney is just hitting them, right?
That's what she said. So let's see here with Jeff Hafley, since you popped up on the screen here. And Chris N mentions, guys, should the Packers be blitzing Darnold considering his success with blitz this season? No, you need to simulate pressure, right, with those confusing looks and only bring 4. It doesn't mean you're only going to bring 4 all the time, but yeah, Sam Darnold has been as good as anyone in the league in terms of quarterback play against the blitz and against pressure. So make him read that thing out.
Yeah.
Get pressure with 4, and it's easier said than done. I got you. They've got 2 really good tackles if they're both healthy, and I'm assuming that both of those guys are healthy. You didn't see them on the injury report. I don't think they're on IR. I could be wrong. But yeah, it's a lot tougher to do that than we mentioned. But man, if you can get pressure with 4 and keep those other 7 in coverage, it's going to be absolutely huge. And keep in mind too, guys, there was a couple of times where he scrambled on 3rd down and picked up the 1st down. That's something else you got to take into consideration too, because it just takes 1 or 2 of those 3rd downs early in the game, and you get them off the field. Yeah. And next thing you know, it's a 1-score game, right?
And it just takes 1 or 2 guys getting, like too far out of their lanes. They're breaking contain, getting washed out of a play. 1 or 2 guys do that. That's what breeds those plays, right? So if you're sending 5 or 6 and you got 2 guys deep in the backfield, of course the quarterback's going to run into that space, right? I mean, the key is to not give it to him.
No doubt about it. So, yeah, in terms of, should you be blitzing Darnold, the Packers defense this year, 6th in points per game at 19.1. They're 7th in yards per game at 313. 3rd most turnovers at 28. And keep in mind, guys, the turnover differential in this game, Minnesota won it 4-3. We had 3 takeaways in this game.
Mm-hmm.
So the defense really showed up to play. You look at the score and think, no way. But when you turn the ball over 3 or 4 times yourself, obviously you're giving them those extra possessions. And then 6th most in sacks with 43. Keep in mind, last I heard we were top 3 in pressure rate when only bringing 4. So the pass rush is here, Emilio. Like you can do this. You can get pressure on them with 4.
Yep.
And I think Hafley really – the reality is, and I'll turn it over to you, Hafley understands what he's got in his defensive personnel and today way better than he did back in September. There's no doubt.
Yeah, I was going to say that Tennessee game we went to, now it's not a fluke. Then we were like, dude, I don't know, man. In fact, we got 7-8 sacks. I mean, can they really do this? Maybe we're not getting 7-8 sacks every game, but the defensive line has absolutely come together. They are humming. And the way everyone talks in that locker room is like we're fighting for each other. The 2 tackles are fighting so the ends can get a breather. The ends are looping so that the Mike can get a scrape blitz. Any of this stuff is all building up just so that on Sunday, Monday, whatever, Thursday, they're humming. And it's really awesome to see. I was pulling up last game against us. Darnold was 20-28, 71.4% completion, 275. Of 9.8 yards a clip and 3 touchdowns, 1 pick for a 123 passer rating. Now, yeah. I mean, he was cooking us. He really was. I mean, and then he didn't have to do a lot in the second half because he roasted the defense in the beginning. But again, that's the offense. Let's not get out to a slow start. Keep the ball, keep them off the field. The basic, let's try to win this game with a grind.
Yeah, and the big difference here, too, though, is, like Holmes says, Bullard and Hopper are hurt. You got to keep this stuff in mind. We just talked about it, Tim. You're missing 3 starters. Now, the first matchup, you were without Jaire Alexander. Correct me if I'm wrong. Maybe you guys can remember this. Pretty sure Quay Walker played in that first game.
Yeah.
Right? So he's not playing in this one. So you're down that backer. And then, obviously, you're down Evan Williams. I'm almost positive Evan Williams played in that game as well. So, got to take those things into consideration, too, here when we're talking about this defense. A shout-out to Eli Berkovitz, obviously one of the best follows on Twitter. He's the one who had this tweet. I meant to say that, at @bookofeli_NFL. So he's the one who posted that about Jeff Hafley. All right, we'll have to skip over that. Really cool, though, our good friend here on Twitter, John Miller from NBC 26, was actually on Good Morning Football this morning, which was awesome to see. So shout-out to him, man. Did an awesome job with that. Really, really cool. Seeing some of the local Green Bay guys, obviously covering the team getting some national notoriety. And he's a fan. He's one of those guys that he's living the dream of covering his favorite team. He's not one of the people that scream, "I'm not a fan. I'm not a fan." So it's cool to see those homers get recognized like that too. Milestone watch. Tucker Kraft needs 5 more receptions to pass Richard Rodgers for the most receptions by a tight end in their first 2 seasons. Man, Tucker Kraft continues to kind of crank it up. We talked about this, I think, earlier in the week. This could be a big day, and I think we got some more tweets we're going to hit on with Tucker Kraft. We'll kind of roll through here, but I really wish we could play this video of Carrington Valentine.
Oh, man,
if you guys have not seen it, I know we'll get hit with the music copyright here. The Green Bay Packers tweeted this out, and it was Carrington Valentine mic'd up. It is must-see TV, man. My favorite thing, and I had a typo here, autocorrect got me, but I think it was Emmanuel Wilson had a big play, and he said, "That boy stay at my apartment." It was awesome.
They're neighbors.
That's awesome.
They go to practice together every day, and they're really good friends on the team. You love to see it, man.
Yeah, Tim, what did you think of that mocked up, man? It was pretty damn cool, wasn't it, man?
Man, really, it's not so much Carrington. I mean, it gives you a kind of an inside look at the type of player CV is out on the field. But it's just the way that his teammates respond to him, I think, and the way that we talked about this, this morning, the swagger of a defense when you've got players like this. And one of the things you'll see when you watch that video is Xavier McKinney huddling the boys up. I believe it was before that Saints game, and just telling them, energy, we need the energy up. And that's what guys like Carrington Valentine and Keyshawn Nixon bring to the table in that secondary. Jaire too, when he's available. Yeah. It's a level of hype. The hype radar is through the roof. And when you're tuned up, as I say, or fired up, ready to go, the piss is hot, pick your favorite adjective, that's what you want, especially on the defensive side of the ball. On your offense, you're probably telling guys a little bit of the opposite, probably telling them, hey, simmer down. Let's be calm, cool, and collected here as we go execute. But on defense, man, you want to have the energy super high all the time, rallying to the ball. And go check out that mic'd up, man. It's a really good insight to a year 2 player, man, 7th round draft pick, stepping up into that starting role that he's been kind of thrust into this year. And he's hitting it head on, and he's playing good ball, and he's showing leadership qualities, man.
Yeah. Yeah, and if you're not on Twitter, you can watch it on YouTube and hit the like button while you're here, but go and search that mic'd up and watch it. But yeah, dude, seriously, I mean, he, like you said, Tim, it's like the dude just adds starter fluid to the carb and is just letting that thing go. I mean, just let's get that thing humming, and having that energy on the outside corner of a 7th round dude. It's crazy that we've had production. We've gotten super lucky and blessed that it's worked out.
Yeah. Yep. United Bates says he just spills positive energy. And I've seen a couple people on Twitter commenting on it going, "Hey, I just need you to shut up and play ball." I bet you're just a damn ball of joy to be around, Bub. I bet you are a blast to work with and play a sport with. Like, there's no clue whatsoever as to what that does for a team. And I do remember it was like LaFleur's 2nd year, and he was mocked up for a game. It was at Lambeau, and he walked over to Jaire before that game, dapped up with him, and was like, "Hey, I need you to bring that energy today. I need you to be that spark plug. Like, you keep the guys up, right?" That stuff matters. It truly does matter. So it feels
you
like
see it on the field, but you can read body language when you watch these guys. You can see a defense that's low energy, hands on the hips. Maybe they're physically tired, they're mentally not focused, and they're emotionally not invested. And that's how teams get smacked around. And when you got guys like CV out there, it doesn't really happen. Our defense always seems to have the energy, and I love it.
Yeah, it's huge, man. And Bill Belichick harped on it forever. I remember watching a documentary on him. I want to say it was a Football Life, and he was showing tape of celebrations or lack thereof from his team. He's like, "Look at so-and-so here. He made a great play." You can't tell. Nobody else seems to give a damn about it. And he's like giving his team hell for like not celebrating together, not encouraging each other and enjoying that moment, right? And you see Belichick and you think he would be the opposite. No, that stuff matters, man. That's how you keep the piss hot, as Coach LaFleur says, right? So it's absolutely huge. For sure.
And like Bates is saying there too, it's positive, right? He's not, everybody has different ways of motivating your teammate or your coworker or your friends or whatever, and it's not always positive, right? Sometimes people use negative tactics, and that's not what
negative reinforcement, Tim, always gets them going, right?
No, sometimes. Sometimes it works.
Sometimes.
Yeah.
I'm trying to see who it was. Someone had mentioned Preston Smith earlier in the chat here. They said that Preston Smith, here we go. Ron Sample says, I was surprised Preston Smith was a healthy scratch this week. So Preston Smith, obviously, since he left, LVN's pressure rate is going through the roof, right? It's increasing every single week the more reps he gets. So the fact that he was a healthy scratch, and then Milltown Corey said, Ron, the other healthy scratch was Dean Lowry. LOL. Stiller found out they're not good. So, again, the fact that they didn't give up a whole lot for Preston Smith, obviously, and we were trying to make sense of it when it happened, right, that trade. It's obvious now that they were trying to get Brenton Cox Jr. and LVN more reps, and I think it was the right move. I mean, listen, I love Preston Smith as much as anyone, but you can't argue with the facts, and the facts are the pressure rate, the sack rate, everything has gone up since Preston Smith was traded. So it's obvious.
We got more explosive on that line, on that D line. Absolutely.
Yeah, exactly. So, Emilio, I know you missed the Bears ranting that we did.
I did.
I think it was, yeah. So Ryan Schlip kept it going. He posted this tweet from Next Gen Stats and put this is what it said. Caleb Williams did not complete a single pass beyond 6 yards downfield until the final drive of regulation in the Bears Thursday Night Football loss to the Seahawks.
The Bears still suck.
Under 10 air yards, he was 15 of 17 for 107 yards, okay? Over 10 air yards, 1 of 9 for 15 yards and an interception. Of course, Ryan just posted the garbage can. Absolute trash. So, and again, not everybody, the Bears fans that are clinging on this Caleb Williams thing, they're looking at the touchdown to interception ratio and going, how good he is. That doesn't mean you're winning football games. That doesn't mean you're driving. We talk about it every week. The 4 most important things, in my opinion, middle 8, turnover differential, explosives, and penalties, and also the first down passing is something I like to kind of keep my finger on the pulse there. You're looking for explosive plays. When you hit on a pass of 20 yards or more or a running play of 10 yards or more, it triples your chances of scoring on that drive. When you're too chicken to throw the ball more than 6 yards down the field, you are not going to hit explosives. It's going to take a hell of a yak play to make that happen. And you're not going to score points. So what's the name of the game? Scoring points. You reverse engineer it. You want to score points. How do you score points? You got to hit explosive plays, right? And you've got to protect the football while doing it. So, it's just
pull that chart up real quick, Clay, one more time.
That chart right there.
That's a good chart too. That shows the hip pain. But
Heisman Trophy winner.
That's it.
Yeah, seriously, look at that. I mean, we can't even throw it to the left hash. I mean, the only time we can throw lefts on a bubble screen. And besides that, every rollout he has to end up on the right side. I mean, I get that you have no power. You have to end up on the right side, but you're putting yourself in just a brutal position. I love asking all the random people you meet online, playing football or whatever on Xbox. Like, dude, what do you think of Caleb Williams? Oh, he's the truth, man. He's a GOAT. It's like, what are we watching? I mean, for real, it doesn't matter what fan they are. What are we watching?
Yeah, and I'm pretty sure this throw right here, the longest throw, was on the run, escaping the pocket too. And people go, yeah, man, he's no doubt. He is accurate throwing on the run. There's no two. But he is not accurate throwing down the field from within the well. Boys, you can't win in the NFL constantly moving the pocket. Constantly. They're not even moving the pocket. He's dropping back one read. All right, let me run around for 30 seconds behind the line of scrimmage and then throw the ball, chuck and duck, hit the ground, and then stand up like, my offensive line can't block.
I don't even think
there's no pocket there. There is no pocket.
Right. He doesn't have a 3-step drop, Tim. I mean, the dude takes a 15-step drop every time he drops back.
Yep.
It's so true, man. So true.
And the finger pointing and shoulder shrugging and pouting doesn't help when you're playing like that either.
No, that does not inspire people. All right, I say get your damn popcorn ready. Fox Sports NFL tweeted this out. Big NFC North showdown on deck. We'll see you in Minnesota on Sunday. So that's going to be the 3:25 Central, 4:25 Eastern kickoff. Packers, Minnesota, obviously up there at US Bank Stadium. This is the game of the week. So we're going to have Tom Brady on the call with Kevin Burkhardt, I believe it is. And obviously Aaron Andrews is going to be on the sideline. I don't know who that other schmuck is on the right. I think that's the one that pissed Matt LaFleur off last year about the kicker comment. I could be wrong, though. I might be wrong there. But I know this, man. A lot of people dog Tom Brady. I think he does a phenomenal job calling the game. I don't know how you guys feel. I thought he's done really, really well this year. So
I think he's getting better every
it
week.
started off rocky. There's no
Yeah.
two ways about that.
Yeah, he's still finding his groove. It's a rookie season for him again. It's been a while since he's been a rookie. So I think he's doing great.
I love the little interview he does after the game, though.
Yeah.
That's the best one. That's the best. Getting the one-on-one with him. That's awesome. But yeah,
and obviously when he breaks down quarterback play,
yep.
Live on the color commentary like that, that's just that's awesome.
Yeah. All right. For those of you listening on the pod, that's going to do it for hour 1. We will see you on the other side for hour 2. We appreciate y'all.
Hi, hour 2. We update on the food selection here. Cinnabon Delights was the answer I was looking for earlier. Cinnabon Delights. 2-pack, yeah, I'm telling you, 12 is the way to go. And sometimes they even put it right in like the extra large cup, like the to-go where you get the Baja Blast. Perfect.
Cheese curds make my stomach hurt all the time, but I do eat them though.
It's unbelievable, Emilio. Free advertising. The free advertising that you're handing out on this particular program is nauseating, sir. Milwaukee Tools. Go pick you one up. There you go.
Pick it up.
All right, let's move it along here and see what else we had on
Emilio
Twitter.
over here trying to get Taco Bell to sponsor the show.
Exactly. All right. Some more Tucker Craft stuff here. That was the same thing with Richard Rodgers. Obviously, Carson Caldwell. Shout out to him at CarsonC_TCC on Twitter. Had put the same stat out there about Richard Rodgers with the graphic. We'll come back to that Carrington Valentine in just a second, or I'm sorry, Zane Anderson in just a second. This is pretty cool. Highest passer rating when targeted this season, minimum of 25 targets. Tucker Craft, 146.2. You guys correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm taking that as the highest in the entire National Football League, including wide receivers, running backs, tight ends, everybody. Is that the way y'all taking that too?
It sure looks that way.
We're gonna.
It sure looks like old Richie Rodgers' record is going to get broken here either Sunday or the following week. So shout out to Tuck Norris, man.
Yeah, that passer rating when targeted is, to me, it's a direct reflection of catch radius and sure-handedness. Obviously, you had that last year. It showed up on tape. He just maximizes his opportunities, man, and obviously picking up the yak along the way. He's the yak god when it comes to tight ends here. Emilio, you got anything you want to add to the Tucker Craft talk? I want to get that in there real quick because we kind of mentioned him earlier.
He's for the boys. That's all I can say, man.
That's what he said, right?
Dude, yeah, he said I play through injuries. I'm for the boys. Period. That's it.
Yeah, no doubt about it, man. Tucker Craft's a man bear. Here we go. Zane Anderson, we did find out last week he is a real person, right? We talked about that several times. Zane Anderson among safeties in week 16, 85.2 PFF grade. That was 4th best. He had 31 coverage snaps, 0 receptions allowed, 1 interception, and 1 forced incompletion.
Hey, how about CV? We talking about the leadership. How about when Zane got his pick and just dropped the ball in the end zone? Valentine's the first one over to snatch it up and make sure that he gets the ball.
That's so awesome.
It's so awesome, man. These guys are really they're playing for each other.
Because Valentine was upset not upset, but I think he was like, dude, that should have been my pick. I would have taken it to the house. And he was like, whoa.
He was more upset that he dropped it. Yeah. He said, man, it's your first pick and you just left it.
What are you doing out here?
Protect that thing.
And again, man, it's just like when you've got guys banged up, someone else steps up, right? And I think that is a direct reflection of the coaching. And it's that next man up mentality. And Matt LaFleur kind of set the culture, set the tone last year, saying we are not going to use us being the youngest team as an excuse. He squashed that out, and it's the same thing with injuries. You're seeing it here with Ja, right? What's he saying? Hey, you'll find out at 3. We're moving forward, man, with or without these people, right? We're going to be ready to roll. So, it's really, really cool to see Zane Anderson step up in that moment. Now, we got to also put it into perspective. I don't mean to be a party pooper here, but it's one game, right? It's one game. Now, let's see what he does this week. Obviously, Evan Williams is out. We kind of talked about this earlier. Let's go around the horn with it. Who do you want starting? What do you want your nickel defense to look like come Sunday at 3:25 Central Time? Do you want it to be Xavier McKinney and Zane Anderson at safety? And if Javon Bullard does play, put him in the slot, put Keyshawn on the outside, and have Carrington Valentine and Eric Stokes split reps on the other side? Is that what we're thinking? Or are we thinking Javon Bullard at safety, Keyshawn in the slot, and have Carrington Valentine and Eric Stokes on the outside? Let's go around the horn with that real quick. Either one of y'all start it off.
Tim.
I'll take it.
He sounds so depressed out there.
No, it's not the fun answer. It's what I think the staff is going to do, and I agree. It's option one. Zane Anderson is on the field. That's your backup for Evan Williams until we can get him back. Javon Bullard, hopefully potentially playing here, is just a cherry on top. That just gives us a little more versatility with Keyshawn. I think you start Bull in the slot where he's been playing all year. We have to be patient. He's a rookie. He's not horrendous in the slot. He's learning. And I think it gives us more flexibility on the outside with CV and Keyshawn, makes us a little more dynamic out there. And then you've got Stokes obviously rotating in, and he's been playing pretty good ball lately. So I like the scenario with Zane Anderson and X as your safeties. That's my pick. And I think that's what they're going to do, honestly.
So you're going X and Zane and then put Javon Bullard in the slot, right?
Yep.
Got it. What about you, Emilio? What are you doing here? If you're running your Madden franchise, what are you doing?
If I'm spinning this, if I'm on the sticks, I honestly Tim, I'm sorry. I think I'm gonna put Zane back on the sideline and just Zane hold down the practice squad. We'll bring Bull back out. Keyshawn,
sit your butt outside.
Keyshawn's gonna slide back into the slot maybe, but you're right. I mean, if we had Evan, I think it's a definite. Zane's on the sideline. We're good to go. If we only have one back, I still think that they're going to want to put that second rounder out there. Nothing against Zane, but I do think that they probably want to put Bullard out there and spin rotate the corners. But he's going to get some shots. I think maybe they fluctuate him in there. I don't think it's going to be all one. It's not going to be one or the other.
Especially if somebody struggles, right? If you get one of these positions that struggles a little bit, hey, let's mix it up, get in there, Zane.
Yeah.
Let's see if you can make magic happen again. And again, just a reminder in case you guys are just tuning in here for hour two, Evan Williams is out this Sunday against the Vikings. So we're trying to talk and decide, all right, how are you going to roll this out here in terms of your nickel defense?
Just because like Zane will prepare like he's a number one, right? I think Bullard is to that spot as well. But if you're telling Bullard, hey, you're number one, you get out there, I need you to be ready for X, Y, and Z, and something happens, Zane's already ready to go, boom, no problem. But I do get it, Tim. I mean, the dude's hot. Let's keep him out there, let him roll.
I just feel like with coverage, like strictly from a coverage perspective, I feel like we're better served with Keyshawn on the boundary. And I think that's where Keyshawn's played his best ball this year, is on the outside, which is, shocked a lot of us, I think. And I think Bullard's been, a work in progress in the slot, but I think he's played his better ball in the slot as opposed to, in the back end of the defense with McKinney. So, right. But I agree with your logic too. I mean, there is logic to what you're saying is, Zane wasn't brought here to start. He was brought here to be a special teamer and a spark plug and an emergency, in case of emergency break glass kind of guy for that secondary. And to his credit, he's stepped up this last game and a half there. So I'm just leaning more towards, really Keyshawn is that factor for me. Mm-hmm. And I feel like having him and Valentine as our boundary corners going up against Justin Jefferson and Hawkinson and these guys, I think that's going to give us a better chance to win the game.
No, I feel you on that. Do you want Eric Stokes out there or do you want Zane Anderson out there? I feel like it's kind of your flip flop. Right. And the only thing I would say is I like Zane coming downhill. I love when he spurs and comes down a lot more than, when he's super deep, but that would be my only kind of pushback. If you want speed on the outside, I think it's got to be Stokes, but is he going to get roasted by Jefferson? That's a possibility.
Right. Or is he going to keep up with him stride for stride and then get high pointed and completion is made anyway, Yep.
Yeah. Good point. Let's see here. Michael A. Smith in the chat says, hot take, Stokes will get a pick six and no, I am not smoking anything right now, he says. So I like that he put that emphasis there right now. Stephen A. Smith disagrees. Not, hey, listen, Michael, none of us can deny the fact that Stokes is playing some of his best football right now.
Yeah.
He has really, really turned it up, and that's what makes it so difficult. Do you want to put Bullard at safety, take Zane off the field so Stokes and Carrington are on the outside with Key in the slot, right?
Right.
Yeah, that's really what it comes down to when you're asking. You're saying, do you want Zane on the field or do you want let's see, who would it be?
Gotta
Who
be
you want?
Stokes,
Yeah,
right?
it's Zane or
Yeah,
Stokes, right?
it would be. Well, it just depends because you got that rotation, right?
I feel like they like Valentine a little bit more, though. I
I
don't
hope you're
know.
right. See, I'm glad you said that because I think I've been talking myself into that they like him more, but they really don't. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Because
Right.
I feel the same way. Tim, do you feel the same way? Do you feel like they maybe are leaning toward Valentine a little more than Stokes?
Absolutely.
Okay.
I think he's the one who stepped up in the biggest way since Jaire's been out of the mix, and it shows. And I think, like Emilio was saying, he got the the G of the week last week. He's kind of the darling of that secondary room right now. And I say, if the guy's got a hot hand, ride the hot hand, man. Keep it going. And again, I don't want to dog Stokes because I think Stokes has been playing certainly his best football of the season. He's been playing the last 2 to 3 weeks for sure.
Yeah.
And again, I'm not saying he's hot, but if he's been playing well, that's a guy you want to see the field in a rotational aspect. The thing with Zane Anderson is I'm not saying he's one dimensional, but you're probably not going to put Zane in the slot, right? He's probably going to play that opposite safety or he's going to rotate in. So the more versatility that you want, you're probably going to get that by having Bullard in the slot. That's just my opinion.
That's a good
True.
point.
Very true.
And will they try to run the football too? Right? Like
Right.
if that's the case, you really like Bullard. His strength, in my opinion, is run defense out of the slot. That seems to be what he does really well. And if you're going to play spur safety, now you may not play as much spur going up against this wide receiver duo, obviously, and they pass the ball significantly more. It was like almost 9% more than the Packers passed the ball. So you got to take that into consideration too in terms of what they're going to put on tape on how they like to attack defenses there. So the chat's been kind of chiming in with who they want to see out there. Let's see what everybody's saying. Let me filter through these real quick. I know we had a few. Milltown Corey, Zane had a lot of picks in training camp, so let him cook while he's doing well. So he's saying keep Zane on the field. And really what this comes down to, do you want Zane on the field or Stokes on the field, right? We're agreeing on that. So that's really what it comes down to here. Michael A. Smith says, I think they will all rotate all in. There'll definitely be a rotation. There is every week, right? We're talking about kind of predominantly who's going to be on the field. CJN says, real question on here. We just held a crappy NFL team to the first 0-point game. Why change up the defense? I think that's a real question too, man. Like,
I got an easy answer.
What is it? What you got?
We have a player coming back. That's why we change it up. We've got Javon Bullards available, and you can play him at that safety or you can play him down in the slot. You can't do that with Zane Anderson. You don't really want to move X. Keyshawn could move to the slot, but then again, we talk about the Stokes factor. Then you're going to have Stokes on the opposite boundary.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that, because I'm with CJN, like, we just shut a team out. Why change it up? Absolutely. Well, it's like we're getting another dog back, and he's got to see the field.
Second round pick.
Yeah, he's got to see the field. So I think that's why you're looking at switching things up a little bit.
There you go. Ron Sample says Bullard should probably play safety, so he likes Bullard at safety this week.
Okay.
Is what Ron's saying.
I love it.
Raider McCready comes in and says that I missed the Cox talk. So
A-Fan's in here somewhere. There's plenty there.
Just DM A-Fan. He'll take care of that for you, I promise. Let's see. Ron Sample also said earlier in the chat, Vikings might be surprised how violent this team is playing now. It is a much different defense now, man. Both on offense, we're breaking out the belt to ass, right?
Let's
No doubt
go.
about that. But on defense, this man right here is got this defense playing a lot different right now, man. He has just been an absolute blast to play. Did you listen to Jeff Hafley's presser, Emilio? Did you get a chance to listen to it? I did.
Yeah,
not.
yesterday's.
Did he say something about winning defensive player of the week twice in Adrian Cooper? Did he mention that?
Dude. Yeah, what did he
say that? Because I heard someone mention it in passing.
Hafley almost like stiff armed the guy. Basically, I'm trying to remember, but I feel like the dude was kind of asking, like, Cooper, he's done well. I mean, how good do you think he is? The sort of thing. This, and that. Hafley basically hit him with he's been, player of the week 2 times in the NFC this year. So I'd say he's doing. That's it. He was asking him, is there any way you can get Cooper more involved? Like, can we get him doing more things? Can we get him, doing this, and that? He's like, dude, I mean, the dude's been, he's been, you got a turnover. He's been player of the week twice. He's gotten a sack. He's gotten tackles. He's led the team in tackles. Like, I don't know how much more I can get the kid involved. Like, dude's already playing 30, 40 snaps in his first year.
He gave him that look, didn't he?
Yeah, that's exactly what he's like. I mean, you tell me, what else can I do? Give him you want me to give him the dot, this, and that, so he's got everything on his plate. Let him do what he's doing now. I mean, aren't we happy with his performance?
That's a great point, man. And I think I could be wrong, but I think it was Spoon that he was talking to.
I think it was Spoon, yeah.
And listen,
he kind of dunked on him. Halfley kind of dunked on him. I'll be honest.
And that's kind of odd too, because you could tell that the front office and the coaching staff really respect Spoon. But again, I love that Halfley went that route, though, man. Like, hey, what else? Yeah. What else does he need to do?
You tell me what I should do, right?
Right. You know? This dude is literally becoming one of the best linebackers in the entire National Football League, right in front of everybody's eyes. Like, what do you mean we need to use him more? And I think people get hung up on the whole green dot thing. I just don't see it as that big of a deal, right? And listen, the defense responded pretty damn well to Eric Wilson wearing that green dot. Quay Walker's out again this week, right? Yep. So let's roll it out there again.
If we're gonna blitz, I mean, who do you want? I'd rather see them fire, Zay McDuffie on a blitz or Eric Wilson on a blitz, and let Coop be our cover guy in the middle. I think he gives us the most athleticism, speed, quickness. He's got high FBI, especially for a rookie. He's got a pick already this year. Like that's the guy you want playing some of that catch man or that touch spy, those kind of looks. And maybe you send the big dogs on some of those linebacker blitzes.
Yeah, for sure. And again, you got to take into consideration too the specific matchup this week. Darnold is damn good against the blitz, right? So show some of those double A gap mugs and mix in that cover 6, cover 7, cover 9, and try to confuse Darnold. See if you can get a pick or two out of him. He'll give you an opportunity to pick the pass off, man. There's no two ways about it. But in terms of who you're going to blitz, Tim, I want to see this guy hitting the A gap, right?
Yeah, man.
You know what I'm saying? You're talking about two gapping, Emilio. Look at that.
Yeah, I mean you're filling a hole. I mean, dude can play nose tackle in a 3-4, no problem.
Why does his torso look like it's shrugging and frowning at me?
It does. It looks like a fake. You know what's crazy is if you slid the nipples down one row, you couldn't even tell.
Yeah,
you know what I mean, it would fit perfect.
Right. That's a 6-pack, Clay. I mean, that's
that
2, 3.
That's more than a 6-pack. That might be a case of beer right there.
That's a keg right there, man.
It's a 6-pack with a black hole right in the middle there. You know what I'm saying? It's untelling what's hiding in that thing.
I don't know. I'm not a doctor.
Or am I? And I would not want to be that doctor, if you know what I mean. So let's keep this thing moving here.
CJN. Dude looks like a guy I went to school with, and I'm not kidding either.
Hey, CJN, see if it's him. Get him on the show, man. Get him on the show. We got to make it happen, all right? Now he's just going to try to find the guy and pay him to come on the show.
Right.
Right. So here's what we pointed out with the line moving. Obviously, with the injury report, man, it shot way down there. So we're now 1.5-point underdogs in this game. I know Tim just kind of rolls his eyes at that, and I can understand that. I really can. But you got to mention what the market's doing for sure. And I think we're all caught up on Twitter. We are. So there you go. Now, our loyal listener, Robert, always sends us the official of the week. We have that information now. Tim, are you ready for this?
Dun, 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 dun.
All right. So your official this week is none other than no, it's not the Cinnamon Delights. What the hell's wrong with that, Emilio?
Block his access. Get him off here. Get him out of the control.
Get him out of here. Get him out of here. It is Mr. Carl Schaefer's. All right. Now, I like this guy. And I'll tell you why I like this guy. He looks like a man that just wants to get home early, right? We don't need to throw a bunch of flags. Just get the hell out of here. And, boys, let me tell you, that is how he officiates. If you look here and we adjust by average flags per game, all right, the leaderboard is Cleet Blakeman throwing the most flags per game, his crew. Then you got Craig Rolstad, Sean Hockey, Alex Kemp, Ron Torbert, is now down to 5th on the list. So, hey,
Magic.
You know what we need to do every week? We need to do every year at the end of the season, we need to do the PTA Official of the Year award.
I like it.
Oh,
and it just by default goes to the guy who threw the fewest flags. All right, that's what that needs to be. And in this case, guys, as we climb on down this list, dead last is Carl Schaefer's.
Wow.
So his crew has thrown the least amount of flags, averaging, I believe, 11.1 flags per game. Now, keep in mind, last time, penalty yardage, Minnesota benefited on 68 penalty yards as we benefited on 55. So this is one of those games that the Packers it was just flag central, right, for the Packers. So if you were to minimize that aspect of this game where we mentioned there were 4 defensive penalties on one drive, which led to a touchdown that gave Minnesota a 14-0 lead, that's another thing on top of the Jordan Love big throw percentage, down the field, and Minnesota giving up those big passing plays, that you kind of take all this stuff and put it into one pot and you go, you know what, boys, we might have a decent chance to pull out an upset up there in Minnesota, man. So Carl Schaefer's, Tim, he's the man of the hour. What do you think about it, bro?
I think this it speaks volumes. When you look at the stats here on these officials, it kind of proves my point a little bit that I was talking about this morning. We got to just be disciplined, because if it's not a blatantly obvious procedural, stupid penalty, this crew's probably not going to throw a flag. So if you're smart with your hands and you're not getting caught holding too much and you're not lining up in the neutral zone and you're not false starting and things like that, we should be all right. If we have a relatively clean game, I think, Carl and his crew will do what they've been doing all year, hopefully, and let the boys just play some football, right?
Yep. Emilio, this is something you preached on, it felt like, for half the season, talking about penalties. And it seems like the Packers are starting to get it under control, right?
It was a problem. It really was. Pre-snap and post-snap penalties are just mental errors, mistakes, something you just want to bite and get out of the game. I think Matt's really done a good job at that. I know we're young, but it's it's one of those things where you're young, but it's not an excuse. And at this point, I think it was Hafley was saying, at this point they're not even young. They're well weathered into a NFL season. We're about to be playoff, bound. These guys are NFL players at this point. So I'm glad that all that little those mishaps and stuff have kind of gone to the wayside. And if it's gonna be a bad penalty, make it a bad penalty in between the whistles. And I won't be as mad about it. But yeah, it's I'm just happy it's cleaned up. I really am.
Yeah, same, man. So again, there is your official the official review, we'll call it, every week. All right. And shout out to Robert for sending that information over on Mr. Carl Schaefer's. We'll see how that goes this weekend. So we hit the officials. Which direction do you guys want to go in? We got about 14 minutes here. Do you want to look at the team statistic ranking for each of these teams, or would you like to see like a PFF preview? You guys call the shots here. I can pull either up. What would you rather see?
What do you think, Emilio?
I'd say team statistics. Let's look at the little numbers here.
Let's do it. Let's go into the spreadsheet here. All right.
Because if we're talking numbers, Jordan Love, the first game against the Vikings was 32 of 54. We asked him to pass the ball 54 times after we brought him back from injury, with a 59% completion, 389 yards, 7 yards average, 4 touchdowns, 3 picks, and a long of 42 with an 83 rating. We are still going to push the ball down the field. I still think that's going to happen. I still think that he's going to go for a long ball, 40 plus yards. And, he's going to be shooting for 300 yards. The problem is we just don't need to pass the ball 50 times to do that.
All right, exactly. Tim, I think you would agree with that, right?
100%. And, and the best way to get there, doing everything you just mentioned, is to run the damn football. And you get all of that stuff opens up off of it, especially on the early downs. I'm a big fan of that double dip run, right? You pick up a 5 or 6 yard gain on a first down run, pound that run again on second down. And then, get that defense creeping up, especially a defense like Minnesota, a very aggressive defense. Get them up, run that play action boot, and let's throw those shots down the field like you're talking about. I'm with it.
Yep. NFL team points per play. All right, offense. I feel like this is the most important statistic here. Green Bay is 5th at 0.454 points per play. Minnesota is 8th at 0.430. So both of these teams are legit top 10 scoring offense. Okay, we go to total offense, yards per play. It is Green Bay is number 2, tied for second with Detroit at 6.2 yards per play. Minnesota is 12th, actually tied for 11th at 5.6 yards per play. So Green Bay definitely moving the ball significantly better than Minnesota has this year from a total yard standpoint.
And we're moving the ball half a yard more than last year as well. That's
right?
nice to see. I like that.
It's huge, absolutely huge. Running the ball, yards per rush attempt. Tim, this is your category here, sir. Running the football, Green Bay is not in the league with actually tied for 6th in the league at 4.7 yards per rush. And Minnesota, are they really I did this the other day. Am I overlooking them? Where the heck are they at? Where's Minnesota on this list? Boys?
Can't see them at the bottom of the list there.
I don't think that's it, though. I thought they were higher. No, there they are. Holy cow.
My.
27th at 40 yards per carry. You want to know why they're throwing the ball about 8% more than us? There you go.
There's
Now,
your answer.
I'm not here to dog Aaron Jones, but we can finally put that conversation to bed that Goody got the better back in Josh Jacobs over Aaron Jones. Would you guys agree with that, or is that a hot take here?
No, I would agree 100%. And like I tell people all the time, you can love Josh Jacobs and love Aaron Jones. It's okay. It's perfectly okay.
Sound like a therapist.
Different players, you know, and I think, history is proving that Goody made the right move here, right?
Yeah. You agree with that, Emilio, or no? Look at him. He's struggling. He's wanting to do
the chat. Yeah, I'm doing. I do miss that, but at least we have, that'll work. I'll take the money slide, but no, I mean, trust me, I still want the green and yellow sombrero that Aaron Jones had. That needs to be on the wall. But dude, I love Josh Jacobs, and when he was talking about buying the ice for the linemen, that was dope. Yeah, and what I liked was they were asking him, how come you didn't get it for the tight ends? He goes, well, normally I do, but I wanted to include all the practice squad guys in this one for the O-line. Like, what a guy. What an absolute guy. Doesn't matter the price of it. He goes, I'm going to keep it that way, and I'm just here to bless him. He was saying Josh Myers was asking him, said he's never had a chain. Asking him, hey, what do I do? What am I going to pair with this? How am I going to – we're going to see Josh Jacobs out there just hitting dudes, and the 71's just going to be swinging back and forth on them.
That stuff matters, man. It really does for culture. I mean, it's huge. So, again, so far, what do we got here, guys? Points per play, Green Bay advantage, right? Yep. Total yards, advantage Green Bay. Rushing yards per attempt, advantage Green Bay. Let's go to passing offense. Let's go passing yards per pass attempt. Green Bay is 3rd in the league at 8.4 yards per attempt. Minnesota right behind them, 4th at 8.4. So neck and neck right there when it comes to the passing offense.
Also, look at how much we hum that thing when we're away. 9.6 yards per attempt when we're away.
That's a big factor. I'm glad you brought that up because Matt LaFleur's notorious for that, right?
Yeah. And then
I would fully expect a shot play early in this game, first possession.
Yep. And also, again, just back to last year, we've gotten a yard better at that too. The fact that we're increasing incrementally, from year to year, Matt LaFleur is still showing improvement across the team is awesome.
Yeah.
Yep.
And again, the fact that Minnesota at home, 8.5 yards per pass attempt. Mm-hmm. Green Bay jumps to 9.6 on the road, like Emilio's saying. We got to say this is another advantage to Green Bay. A little bit closer, obviously, than the other team, right?
But I'm not mad if our run is going to be all away games. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not mad that our offense does better away. They know that they're going to have to play away. They know that that's what it's going to be. Just got to accept it and move on.
Yeah. So, I mean, listen, I don't want to sound like a homer here, and you guys tell me if I'm wrong here. And I'm really, you guys, hopefully anyone who's hearing my voice, I really try to be objective. I try to look at the Packers like I'm not going to be a fanboy. I'm not just going to say, oh, they're great at this, they're great at that, we're going to win. I really do try to look at it like remove your fandom for a second and try to see this game for what it is. But when it comes to offense versus offense here, and I know the offense are going to play the opposing team's defense. I got you. I understand how football works. But when you just statistically look at how good is their offense compared to our offense, Green Bay's got the edge, do they not?
Sure, it looks that way.
Yeah. And again, there's some people go, oh, we played crap teams. Well, according to PFF strength of schedule, we had the 4th toughest schedule this year. Minnesota has like the 22nd or something crazy. So, it is what it is. Let's move on to defense, shall we?
Yes.
All right. Opponent points per play allowed. All right. And obviously the low number wins here. This is where Minnesota has a slight advantage.
Screenshot this for Jacob.
Yeah, exactly. They are second. Minnesota's second at 0.289 points per play allowed. Green Bay is fifth at 0.316 points per play allowed. So both of them are legit top five defense. And if people are going, what did you mean by that comment, Tim? You can see it on the ticker from time to time. We like to put it up there. But
Oh, yeah, I can throw that on there.
Jacob made a bet that if the Green Bay Packers had a top 7 scoring defense, that he would get an Emilio tattoo on his left butt cheek. Now,
There it
what's
is.
an Emilio
I wish I
tattoo?
could pause the ticker so we could just keep it on the screen.
There it is. If the Packers have a top 7 scoring defense, I'll get an Emilio tattoo on my left butt cheek. PTA Jacob. It's on the ticker. It's got to be true.
That's tough. I mean, that's a tough bet to make early in the season, man. But he was standing with it. He thought this defense was going to have a little bit of, a little hiccup here and there. Hafley's got him humming. And just real quick, take a peek at our last 3. I mean, if we're locking it down, 2.54. That's better than Minnesota's last 3 and better than where they're at average. So,
Respect Orange. It says Clayton's fandom is like my pants. It comes off for the show. Tim, why'd you put that up there? What the hell?
I didn't. You're not going to blame me.
That's terrible.
It is terrible, Chuck. All right, NFL team opponent.
You hurt me,
points
Brad.
per play. Yeah, this show sucks so bad. All right, let's go to total defense. All right, we're going to go yards per play allowed here. Obviously, low number wins again. Looky here, boys. Green Bay, 5.2. They are 6th in the league at 5.2 yards per play allowed. Minnesota is 11th at 5.3. Now, listen, that is a really top margin, right? That's what she said. That's where, let's be real here. You're splitting hairs at this point, but Green Bay advantage there.
Right, but look to the column to the right, Clayton, and in the last 3, Green Bay is at 4.3, Minnesota at 5.9.
That's a big difference, boys.
Now we're not splitting any hairs. Now you got to cut it off. Now you just got to chop the hair off, man. That thing's gone.
Easy there, Emilio. This is a family show. What the hell's wrong with you? Calm down, all right? Hardy the Prophet, been a member for 3 months now. Appreciate you, buddy. He says, I'd like to see Zane in the slot for his instincts alone, but he has to play. Here's the thing about that interception, he was kind of playing that slot look a little bit, wasn't he? He buzzed down into the box, was kind of playing spur, curl, flat responsibilities. And typically when you run a normal cover 3 defense, that nickel is going to play curl flat. So I don't think you're too far off base there, Hardy. I really don't. And I don't think it's as simple as let's just put him in the slot. I think that Hafley likes to put these guys in a position to just do what they're doing, do what they do comfortably. And again, you can have a very, very, very similar look with Zane playing spur that would look very similar to playing slot, meaning the safety that's just playing in the box, of course. But appreciate you being a member, buddy. All right, so, man, this is huge here, though, opponent yards per play. I'm glad you pointed that out the last 3 games, Emilio. That's huge.
Yep.
Let's go to rushing defense now. Opponent yards per rush allowed. This is where they're kind of thriving. Minnesota 3.9. They are second in the league. Green Bay is sitting at 4.1. They are 4th. So Minnesota got a really, really stout run defense. Tim, I know we're screaming run the ball. If we just looked at the statistics strictly, it kind of suggests you should pass the ball, right? But that could be a trap. That could be a trap, man.
Yeah, and I like to deal with things head on, right? Game's not played on the stat sheet; it's played on the field. Let's run the ball at him. Josh Jacobs been running through people's faces all year. I am not afraid of this Minnesota defense, especially after the last time we played this team and we basically crapped the bed for an entire half of football and then still got back into the game. So I'm not intimidated. They are a really good football team, but I'm not going to let them win on reputation. I say we attack to set up the pass. Attack on the ground to set up the pass. I'm not saying run the ball all day, every day. This is not. We've seen game plans like that, right? Earlier this season, right, when Jordan was hurt. I'm not saying do that. I think we just need to find that happy marriage between the pass and the run game. And in all honesty, I have the utmost confidence that Matt LaFleur is going to be in his bag again, and he's going to call a balanced game. We're probably going to run the ball a little bit more than we throw it. That's all I think is going to happen.
It.
Yeah.
Yo, how you feel about it?
Yeah, if if I see Matt LaFleur answer the phone, I know it's Tim calling him to tell him to run the dang ball. And if not, it's Greg Rice. Okay.
I'm
And
gonna call him from this phone right here.
look at that. Thank you. We got a direct line to Matty
I got a
Ice.
direct
right
line.
there.
I don't even have to dial.
But yeah, again, look at those numbers. But home, Minnesota's at 4.4. I'll take 40 yards to clip with Josh Jacobs every time. That's no problem with me. I mean, that's nothing. You know, if we look at our aways, we're 4-2, okay, but our last three we're 3-7. So I mean, Aaron Jones, how long do you want to run against the Packers defense? You know,
That's a good point, man. It seems like Minnesota's kind of trending down, and they're still winning ball games. Don't get me wrong, but it does feel like the league.
We're still on the grindstone. We're still honing the blade. We're still working at it. You know, we're still trying to get better. It seems like they kind of just eased off.
Yeah. Ari Ironminer says our O-line will beat them. Run the ball, smash them in the mouth, open up the pass game. So we now see Tim. His burner account is RE Ironminer. So we got that under control. All right, let's move on to passing defense real quick. Let's go passing defense. Opponent yards per pass attempt. Low number wins again. Green Bay sitting in the number 9 spot, tied for 9th at 6.4 yards per pass attempt allowed. Minnesota is 13th or tied for 12th at 6.5. So pretty neck and neck, but the slight edge to the Packers in that regard with passing defense. So very interesting there, seeing that their running game hasn't been as effective, right? With what they average 4 yards a carry as a team on the year. So if they do have to press into the pass, they're kind of playing into one of the strengths of Green Bay's defense. There's no doubt about that. All right, let's so we got the passing defense. The other thing, let's hit turnovers. All right, let's start with giveaways per game. So this is how many times the offense gives the ball away, right? The low number wins. So obviously, less interceptions, less fumbles, all that stuff. Green Bay's given the ball away 1.1 times per game. That number has come down dramatically, guys.
Yep.
I mean, look at them over the last 3 here, 0.7. So we're really cleaning that up. Obviously, Jordan Love been protecting the football really well. Mm-hmm. Minnesota is sitting at 1.3, but also the last 3 games, they've been protecting the football and only giving it up 0.3 times per game. So It seems like they've cleaned up that aspect of their game, although the Packers still slightly rank higher than them at number 12. And Minnesota's tied for 16. So that's going to be huge, man. Turnover differential is what wins and loses the ball game, no doubt.
Yeah. And that gets me excited for the playoffs, Clay. And I was looking there, the away turnovers, we were at 0.9 on away turnovers. That's huge. I mean, Love threw 3 picks in Lambeau, so it's not like, that's something we don't have to deal with moving forward.
Yeah. Now let's look at takeaways per game here, boys. Minnesota leads the league at 2 takeaways per game. Green Bay is tied for second at 1.9 takeaways per game. Now, it looks like those numbers have been inflated a little bit for Minnesota. The last 3 games, they've done really well, averaging that 2 takeaways. Green Bay, that number has dropped a couple of tenths of a percent there to 1.7 over the last 3 games. At home, takeaways, Minnesota's taking the ball away 1.9 times per game. And on the road, Green Bay's taking it away 1.9. What you're probably going to end up with, there's a good chance you're going to end up with an even slate turnover differential in this game. Kind of feels that way.
That's something to watch in the middle 8. Where are we going to be at turnover-wise? Yep. Absolutely.
Definitely. Tim, you got anything else to add here to the defense and the takeaways before we kind of wrap this thing up, man?
Yeah, I mean, I hope we're +2 on Sunday. It's been a while since we've seen a McKinney pick, and looking at this Minnesota offense, there's going to be opportunities. Maybe Zane gets another one. You never know. We could get another Zane Anderson pick. Who knows? But we've got to be in the plus category in the turnover differential. We just have to against this team playing in their building. And I don't care what anyone says. Oh, if we drop this game, it's not going to ruin our season. We're still a playoff team. I want the 5 seed, boys. I want as close as I can possibly get to potentially having a playoff game at Lambeau this year would be nice, not just because I have access to tickets to it, but it would have to exist for me to go. So I want them to win out, man. I say we take care of the Vikings on Sunday. We take care of those little kids from Chicago at the end of the year and we get it done, going to the playoffs strong, right?
Mm-hmm.
And see, this is how we go over every time. You done mentioned it, so I want to look what has to happen for us to get the 5 seed. I imagine Minnesota has got to lose out and we got to win out. Is that pretty much it, right?
That's right.
These last 2 games. So I'm not going to put it on the screen.
I think we need other help though too, right? Don't we need
let's see.
We would need a Washington loss also.
Let's say that Minnesota loses to Detroit and we win our last 2 games. We're the 5 seed. That's all that needs to happen. There's no one else who can jump us for the 5 seed. So it's between us and Minnesota. So it would take Minnesota losing their last 2 games and Green Bay winning their last 2 games. Obviously.
So would you rather go to Philly than rather than the Lions? I mean, if you're a 6 seed and win, you're going to the Lions rather than
let's look at this.
Rather than your 5th seed going to the Eagles.
Well, I can pull up the ticker again.
Ooh,
I've said it before and I'll say it again. I'll play the Eagles on the damn moon.
That's
I
so
don't care.
true.
Let's go.
Here's how it looks right now. And I've already put in place here us beating Minnesota and then Minnesota losing to the Lions and us beating the Bears. Which, guys, that's very realistic. That is very realistic. And Dan Campbell has pretty much all but said he's playing to win every game, right?
Yeah, we know that. He's not sitting anybody.
Yeah, so the difference there, let's just kind of look at it. If we're the 5 seed, we're going to Atlanta to play the 4 seed, right? And then Minnesota would have to go to L.A. and play the 3 seed Rams.
That's not far, Clayton.
Oh my God. I'm about to spend some money if this pull. And those are easy tickets to get, boys. Let me tell you, those Atlanta folks, they down there in the underground shaking their rump. You know what I mean? They could care less about going to a football game most of the time. You can pick those up real easy on the streets. But so I mean, that's what it's going to take. If you beat Minnesota, Minnesota's back's against the wall. Now, let me ask you this question. We're way over, I know, but you guys brought it up, and Tim, this is your fault. Okay, we're blaming you tonight.
It's all right.
Who would you rather play? And I know it doesn't matter. I get that. You know, you're in the playoffs. That's all that matters. If you could choose, would you rather go to L.A. and play the Rams, or would you rather go to Atlanta and play the Falcons?
I want to say my gut's telling me Atlanta, but there's also a strong part of me that feels like, man, we have really owned McVay and the Rams these last few meetings. And I feel like Matty really, really schemes up well against the Rams. And I don't know. I guess it's a tough one. I'll go with Atlanta just because, like you said, it's not far from you guys. Maybe you can get to a playoff game. I'll go with the Falcons.
Yeah, for me, I want to play Atlanta. And not just because we might be able to go to the game. I'm being serious. Like, it's L.A. Rams, when we played them last, they did not have Puka Nacua. That's a totally different team now.
Honestly, the Rams scared me a little bit. Like, not crazy, but it's like, all right, you got to at least watch out for the Rams.
Yeah, and sooner or later, McVay's got to win one against
us. Yeah,
you know, it's just the kind of the law of averages there. So again, if we beat Minnesota and Detroit beats Minnesota and we beat Chicago there in Week 18, we would go to Atlanta as it sits right now, and the Vikings would go to the Rams. Now, if we backtrack here, and let's say that Minnesota wins that game, we end up being the 6th seed, we will be going to the LA Rams, and obviously Minnesota will be going to Atlanta just to make sure there's nothing. But
again, what if can Tampa still take that? Can Tampa still take Atlanta's spot?
That's a great question. Let's do that. Let's say Tampa wins.
Oh, yeah.
Now, let's say that Washington beats Atlanta, right?
Yep.
And then in Week 18,
we beat the Bears.
Let's say that let's say that Tampa wins there too, just to kind of ensure it, right?
Mm-hmm.
And let's say that Carolina somehow beats Atlanta and just drops them out. So, yeah, there's a chance that Tampa could climb up in there. And if that's the case, who would you rather face? Would you rather be the 6th seed and go to L.A., or would you rather be the 5 seed and play Tampa? And listen, when you look at the logo, Tim, you're thinking, give me the Rams.
I've been to too many of them damn games.
Yeah.
Sorry. Nope. I don't want Baker Mayfield. Nope. Not again.
He can get hot at any moment, man.
Yeah.
What do you think, Amelia? Who would you rather face, the Rams or the Bucs, man?
That's tough. Looking at the Buccaneers logo, like Tim said, man, I want to stay away from that, but
But then again, we got to get the monkey off our back, right? You got to.
Yeah, I honestly
the demons, man.
I think I would rather bite the Buccaneers bullet than play that we got McVay's number card. If we're walking that line, I think I would rather bite the Buck bullet.
And when we played the Buccaneers there, it was Tom Brady, right? Like Tom Brady in the playoffs. Now, Baker Mayfield beat us last year, though, right?
Yeah.
So interesting.
And the Tampa Bay who beat the Lions earlier in the year. I mean, Tampa Bay gave them their first loss. It's not. I mean, you just know you don't know. I don't know. Either way, you got to beat the guy in front of you. It doesn't matter. You know, like they say, no numbers, names, jerseys, whatever. They're just people in front of you.
Yep. Nameless, faceless players, right?
Yep.
Ron Sample been a member for 7 months. Appreciate you, Ron. He says momentum means something. Win out. Amen to that, buddy. Amen. We'll go rapid fire through the chat and wrap this thing up. We're way over. Raider McCready says, I think this is going to be tough. However, I think we more than handle business by the end. McNuggies, talking about McManus, kicks a 56-plus yard field goal at least once. That would be awesome. That would be absolutely a great conditions indoors to do that, no doubt about it. Raider McCready also said, you're doing a giveaway on Sunday. We are. I'm going to announce that tomorrow. It most likely will be a Dorsey Levens autographed jersey. I'm going to see what we got and give you guys the direct answer tomorrow. CJ,
that gives you time to get in Patreon or YouTube.
Bingo.
Become a member.
Thank you for bringing that up. If you guys want to get entered into the contest, you just got to be a YouTube member, right? So if you become a member here on YouTube, that'll put you into the contest. Where we're just going to put everybody's name on a wheel and spin it. And whoever it lands on, that's who wins the prize. We also have our Patreon group. You can scan the QR code in the upper right. That'll send you to patreon.com/PackerFan Total Access. We've got multiple chats in there. All that good stuff. So there's some extra added benefits to being a Patreon member. And we also take those Patreon members and put them on the wheel with the YouTube members and spin it to give it away. So tomorrow, well, like I said, it'll be an autographed jersey for sure. We'll announce exactly which jersey. It'll probably be that Dorsey Levens. I just got to make sure I've still got it. I know it's over here somewhere. I don't want to say that, and then I go digging through and can't find it in my inventory. That would suck. So I like what CJN says. Clayton, putting my basement together in the new house. Can you rig the giveaways to give me a couple? No, we can't do that, CJN. All right. What do you think this is?
As long as you're using Milwaukee Tools, CJN, to put that basement together, okay?
That's all that matters. That's the sponsor of the show. Chris N says Jacob should live stream the tattoo session on PTA. Oh, we will do something special, sir.
We're going to have to pixelate that butt cheek, though. Nobody wants to see that. Nobody wants to see that, man.
Put it on the ticker, Emilio.
Pixelate it.
Pixelate.
Quote, Tim. Quote,
censor the butt cheek.
That butt cheek. I love it. All right. Let's see what else we got. Last one, Braden Fielding. Appreciate you swinging through, Braden. He says, what I like most about running often is time of possession, long drives, and be efficient with points on the board. Very good point. And again, if you're going to have long drives, though, you can't stall out in the red zone, right? You got to get those points to cap it off. But that's a great point.
Which is something we've gotten better at. We were struggling in the red zone earlier in the year.
Yeah. We stopped getting cute down in the red zone, and now we're running the right plays down there now. Yep.
I'm glad I'm not the only one that's pissed off about those jet sweeps inside the 5. Tim, you could tell he means it when he puts some oomph behind it when he talks about it. I love it. So. All right, that's it, guys. We're way over. We'll talk to y'all tomorrow morning for Good Morning Lambeau. We got 3 NFL games tomorrow. Matter of fact, since we're already over, let's take a quick glance here. So you got the Chargers at the Patriots. The Chargers are in the playoff hunt. You got the Broncos at the Bengals, and you got the Cardinals at the Rams. So obviously tomorrow, I think we're Cardinal fans tomorrow, boys. I believe that. So
no, that's not possible.
Not that it really matters, but you just, like Tim said, do they really have a chance to win? But
playoffs.
But you'd rather go to Seattle to play Seattle if it's not, would you rather go back up into Seattle to play them if they come out and win the division?
I feel like the LA Rams is an easier place to play, but when you compare the two teams, who would you rather face? Mike McDonald, who just put up 6 points last night. I know he's not an offensive coach, but him, or would you have Sean McVay and Matthew Stafford with Puka Nacua? Yeah, it's Seattle, hands down. You're right. So good stuff, guys. And again, you never know, this might break out when you play Seattle. You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
that could be something there too. So, all right, we're out. Appreciate y'all. We'll see you in the morning for Good Morning Lambeau. Everybody have a wonderful evening. Thank you, TC Fan, for the super chat. Thank you, Hardy the Prophet, for being a member for 3 months. And Ron Sample, thank you for being a member for 7 months. Make sure you get your memberships active. Make sure that you join our Patreon group if you want to get entered into the contest to win the autographed jersey tomorrow. Everybody have a wonderful evening.
And we go.
Bye, guys.